Welcome back. You're watching Night Vision right here on NDTV Hindu.
Now, activists campaigning against child abuse held a rally in Chennai today. The rally was organized by Tulir, an NGO that is fighting to uncover and stamp out sexual abuse of children. The rallyists who gathered along the marina said more than 50% children in India are sexually abused and there is no effective law to punish the offenders. Organizers said one of the aims of the rally was to sensitize the people about sexual abuse of children.
I think Chennai is ready for a show of public support for people to be more aware of child sexual abuse, to be more aware of the dynamics of it, the lacunae in our system where we do not offer a protective environment for children. So I think, after 5 years of working, we decided let's do a public rally, and it's nice because we don't know half the people who are marching here, and they just come seeing newspaper advertisements and not advertisement, write-ups and things like that.
Basically, I have a plan to go to Everest, and my climb is basically to raise awareness on child sexual abuse.
And joining us this evening on Night Vision is avid mountaineer Santosh Kumar. He plans to climb Mount Everest to highlight efforts to stamp out the sexual abuse of children in India. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
Tell us
having me.
firstly, why did you take up this cause? What really prompted you?
Well, I wanted to climb Everest for a cause. All my other climbs have been a quest for personal challenge, and I realized that child sexual abuse is one of the rampant problems in our society, and it's also the least talked about problem. So I thought that through my climb, I'll be able to raise awareness on this issue.
Fantastic. How else do you think this is a burning issue in the country right now? There have been so many cases in Chennai as well over the course of the last few weeks. How else do you think we can increase more awareness on this issue?
Well, the first thing that we need to do is to understand the problem and acknowledge that the problem exists. So once we know that, then we should keep our eyes and ears open. For example, parents should listen to their children. And more often we tend to ignore what they say, or the parents often think that the child does not know what he's talking about. And we have to realize that children often don't know that they are abused, and that is the biggest problem. So once we raise awareness, we start talking about it, we have discussions like these, then children will be aware and they will come out and talk to their parents or talk to their friends about this.
So there need to be more platforms like this for people to actually come out and voice their opinions.
Exactly, and more platforms for people to understand that this problem exists and know about this problem.
Now, the kind of society and the environment here in Chennai is rather conservative, and we're actually coming out of it if you look at the last couple of years. But this is a very, very sensitive issue, and we've had a lot of cases in the last 1 month at least, where a child was locked up by his father and he was being beaten up. So that really, says that we need to go out and talk to the children and talk to parents. How can we do that? How can we penetrate into that section?
Well, again, as you rightly said, most of the victims most of the offenders are their family or friends or people who are in a trusted position. So we have to educate the children, one. We also have to educate the parents. Now, we have to create a society, create an atmosphere where the children can come out and talk to either teachers or parents freely. And they should not have the fear or the ignorance that this is something that I should not talk about. So once we create that atmosphere, then they will come and talk to the teachers and then talk to their parents. And the next step is for them to take an action once they do speak. Because if they do say something and no action is taken, it is pointless.
And the slogan on your T-shirt, I think, clearly reflects the whole
yes,
in fact,
purpose and the objective of the campaign.
Again, enough is enough. So it's time we start. It's time we take the first step to try and acknowledge this problem. And we say that we have to break the silence against child abuse. So let's start it today.
Santosh, now this is a rally, first of its kind at least, with this kind of a cause in Chennai. How has the response been? What kind of participants were there at today's rally?
In fact, as Vidya rightly said, half of the participants is someone we didn't even know. They heard about this rally and they came down because they wanted to fight for this cause.
Fantastic.
And in fact, it was raining today, and still we had a turnout of more than 300 people.
Wow. That really speaks for itself.
Absolutely. Now, it doesn't end here, obviously. I mean, Evelyn, we were talking about this before we came on air. Looking at the future as well, they need to, we need to have more such rallies like this, more such campaigns like this, right?
Certainly, and anything we can do, anything that will spark this discussion, anything, and again, I urge the individuals to go and find out more about this, because the individuals are the best people who can spread the knowledge about this. So once they find out information, they can talk to their friends, and this is certainly something that needs to be done.
What do you believe is the problem actually here in our Indian system? Do we not have enough laws? What is it that we want?
Well, laws is certainly one of the problems, because some of the laws against child, we don't actually have specific laws against child abuse. For example, recently I read an article that, if a child abuser is, in the US, for example, if someone is accused of child abusing and they come back to India, there is no law in India that does anything to these guys. They can actually roam free. So an offender from the US can come to India and roam for free. And that is something that is not right.
Yes.
So we have to have laws that will keep an eye on these guys so that they are not repeat offenders. And again, there are no specific laws against child abuse, because children are not going to be freely talking in a public area and talk about their experiences.
Exactly.
So, and you can't have the lawyers and judges going and probing them and asking them questions. So you have to have, experts, possibly a separate code. So there has to be a lot of improvement in the law, and we're far behind. Certainly there are steps being taken, but the progress is slow, and we are still far behind compared to other societies, other countries.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's a step-by-step process. I mean, we need more laws, but in order for that to happen, the awareness should be there. In order for that to happen, more people need to come out. So it's really
Exactly.
streamlined.
And especially in